Hello everyone. Welcome to FitCat, your fitness show here on OCADU Live. I'm going to show you how to do a squat, how to use a squat rack, and how to use a Smith machine. I'm later on going to show you how to do different variations with dumbbells, but first we're going to attack the big machines. So first off, how to do a normal squat, and you want to know that this is a compound exercise, which means that you're going to be using different muscles during this workout. So very important to stretch your whole body. We're mainly going to be using our quads and our glutes, but our core and our arms and upper back are going to be included as well. We're going to have our feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing out, and when we go to squat, we're not only going to sit down, but we're going to have a hinge motion in our hips. So that would look like this. Now, when it comes to your torso, you want to have a completely neutral back, which means you're not going to be like this, nor like this. And that also includes your hips. So you don't want your hips to be rotated outwards, you want them to be rotated inwards. So when we go to squat, this is how it would look like now. When we do a squat, we want to have the proper breathing technique, which basically means that you're going to inflate your diaphragm and you're going to squeeze in as if I were going to punch you in the stomach. That's the best way to explain it. Now that we have all those three things, this is how it would look like. Feet underneath, pointing outwards. We're going to breathe with a neutral back. Hold it in, squat, and up. Now when we go to squat, something very important is your neck. You don't want to have your neck at a position that is not completely neutral with your spine. So that said, this is how your neck should look like, and this is what you want to avoid as well as this. So a completely neutral neck and back. When you come up, you want to make sure that you do not squeeze your glute in to the point where your torso is coming like this. So once you squat, you come up and you just have to squeeze here. You don't want to exaggerate the movement. Another feet position would be the sumo squat, where it would include your feet being outside of your shoulders. So same thing, and up. That would include more of your glute muscles rather than your quads. So now onto the squat rack machine. This is exactly what it is. It usually has a little bit more components, but I'm going to show you step by step on how to properly set it up. So first off, you're going to have these here, and that is what is going to hold the bar. I removed the bar just to show you first, but you want the bar to be at the level of your clavicle. That is because when we go to put the bar back, we do not want to be tiptoeing to put it back, neither do we want to squat down to be able to rack it up again. So we're going to bring it out. All of the machines are different, but they have the same technique. So you remove it. Also remember that the bar would lay right here, which means that you want to measure the lower portion of this equipment. This is more or less where I would want it to be. You also want to make sure that you're having it at the right number on each side so that it is level. Now we can properly put the bar back. So as you can see, this is right around my clavicle. So now onto the most important part is the safety rack. It is this part right here. This is what is going to hold you in case you miss the squat, you fall down, it was too heavy, whichever it is, this is what is going to save you. So you want to put it at the perfect height so that it can actually do its own function. So the way to know if it is the right height, you want to be able to squat down at your lowest. This is where I would hold the bar. So this is more or less where I would measure it. So I would want it around 6 or 8. When you go to put them, they are all going to be different, but they have more or less the same technique. So now that we have set up the machine, now it is time to actually be able to squat. So we have the bar at our clavicle level, and we're going to put our hands outside of our shoulder. Usually you're going to have a little bit of texture, and that is more or less where you would be putting your hands. Okay, so we position them here. So when it comes to putting the bar, you're not going to place it on your neck, neither are you going to place it on your shoulder. You're not going to be carrying the bar. Instead, you're going to be putting it against your back, and your arms are going to be holding it against it, as well as holding it up. When we come down, we want to do it at the same time. So you breathe in, both arms at the same time, and it should be right around here. So as you can see, I'm not putting it on my shoulders, neither am I putting it on my neck. It is right underneath, And I'm just holding it up by having the arms being locked in this position and against my back. So when we go to lift it up, we want to have our feet underneath the rack, and we're going to breathe in and hold. We're going to lift it up, and we're coming back step and step. You want to make sure that you are inside of the safety rack. You don't want to be out here where when you fall, it is not going to hold you up. So you breathe in, down, come up, and let it out. When we're going to put it back, we don't want to put one arm and then the other one, and we don't want to tiptoe. So we're going to go step, step. You're going to put it against the machine, and then you're going to squat down. And that is how you use the squat machine. Also, if you want to know more or less how the safety rack is going to help you, this is what it will look like. So if I were to fall, let's say I squatted, I can squat down and it holds it up for me. Just to make sure that you know when you want to add the weight, you first want to make sure that you have the technique covered, and then you start adding the weight because you can injure yourself. So when you do add the weight, you're going to put the plate, you're going to slide it completely until the end, and you're going to use one of these clips. So you're going to squeeze them. Sometimes it's very complicated to squeeze them, but you're going to squeeze them, slide them in completely against the plate, and let it go. That is going to make sure that when you do the squat, the weight is not going to slide from side to side, which could debalance you. So now onto the Smith machine. This is what it looks like. It's similar to the squat rack, however, the bar is being held by the whole machine. So as I'm going to show you, this is what it would do. Okay, so that means that you would not be rocking back and forth. The bar is going to be held for you. The bar is already lighter, and the weight will be feeling lighter because you're not carrying the whole bar. You just want to make sure that you check the weight because it will feel different. So the way that this functions is with hooks. So you're going to lift it up and you're going to twist your wrist. That is how you unhook it and you're able to move it up and down. So we're going to have the same technique that we use for the squat rack. We're going to come underneath it. We're going to have our feet positioned right under our body, and we're going to put it underneath our shoulders. We do not want to be carrying it with our shoulders, neither with our neck. Okay, so we push it against our back, we lift it, twist, and that is where you're ready to start your squat. You're going to breathe in, hold, come down, and up. And when you go to put it back, remember to twist your wrist and then come down. And that is how you use the Smith machine. One thing that you want to know is that when adding weight, you do not have to add the clip because the bar is already calibrated. So the clips are only in case that the bar goes to debalance, but since this is impossible to debalance, you do not need the clips. And that is all you need to know for the squat, how to use a squat rack, and how to use the Smith machine. See you later. Bye.